Time now for news from the left. Tennessee State Rep Justin Jones, of course, being hailed as the hero after being reinstated, after being ousted for breaking decorum on the House floor. But a resurfaced video from June of 2020 obtained by local blog Scoop Nashville shows how this young man behaved before he was elected, engaging in violent protests. You see here in this video, that's him in the hat. Blocking traffic. This was a protest. They didn't want anybody to get by. Nobody can go to work because we want to sit out here and complain. And then he accosts the driver of that truck with one of those big traffic cones. You can see right there on the right, a buddy of his throwing himself in front of a car and then faking an injury. Somebody just trying to get to work. You also see Jones attempt to strike the driver with that cone, which happens right here as the truck driver tries to get away. Watch this. Boom. Throws it at him while he's driving a car. Jones was charged with assault on an officer during the arrest, and reckless endangerment, for which he was indicted on 2 counts after the video was presented to the grand jury in this case. He claims he was never violent, but these are the kinds of people that are getting into government now. You don't hear anything about that, do you? You always hear about, oh, these dangerous right-wingers. Yeah. Next up, Dianne Feinstein, the senator from California, facing calls to resign from fellow Democrats after a long absence from shingles is kind of preventing some of the progress they wanted to make. Democrat Congressman Ro Khanna asking Feinstein to resign. Take a look.
It has become painfully obvious to many of us in California that she is no longer able to fulfill her duties. The time has come for her to gracefully step down and have a dignified end to a very distinguished political career.
Overnight. It's interesting that they're picking on Dianne Feinstein so much. You start to wonder, I mean, she's incapable of fulfilling her duties. How come Ro Khanna is not talking about, oh, John Fetterman? Maybe Joe Biden? Just a thought. All right, next up, the partnership between Bud Light and transgender TikTok star Dylan Mulvaney failing miserably. And now the finger pointing has begun. Anheuser-Busch watching the value diminish more than $5 billion just days after launching the campaign, according to an unnamed source who spoke with the Daily Wire, saying no one at the senior level was aware it was happening. Some low-level marketing staffer who helps manage the hundreds of influencer engagements they do must have thought this was no big deal. Obviously it was, and it's a shame because they have a well-earned reputation for just being America's beer, not a political company. Quote, it was a mistake. So now everybody's saying, oh boy, we're getting hammered here. We got to figure out a way to fix this thing. And finally, Biden's diversity, equity, and inclusion team is all over it while the president is in Ireland. They do not miss a beat. This is the kind of team you want working for you. Visiting a pub in one of the whitest places on the planet, they tweet out this image with the quote, I'll say this for the Irish pubs, they really put you to work. And you notice that you have a friendly black woman front and center in the image, which just made us kind of laugh because if you look at the population of Ireland, it's 1% black. But you know that the Biden team, in their endless pursuit of anything racial and promoting anything racial to the point of no return, had to probably seek out somewhere in Ireland to find a black woman that could be in a picture with Joe Biden just to obviously appease their desperation for diversity, equity, and inclusion. So cheers to the DEI team over at the Biden White House. They are unstoppable, an unstoppable force.